I was watching this video earlier, and this girl says something in the video. I've already lined it up. She says something that made me want to comment, and I think it aligns itself with what I've been saying in previous videos, what I just got into again recently in my video called The Western Cult, Heaven is Not What You Think It Is. So I just released that yesterday, I believe it was. So I'm going to play a few seconds of this video and then turn it off and comment and show you a few other examples to get to the point of what I mean here.
Okay, this seems like kind of legit. And then also under the profile for this this song, it said the traditional lexicon of the Order of Nine Angles, or ONA. So I was like, that sounds legit. Order of the Nine Angles? Order of Nine Angles? That sounds like actually legit. And at first I was like, is that maybe a misprint? Did they meant to say angels, not angles? But no, it's actually angles, like acute, obtuse.
Yeah, so, real quick, what she's talking about, she's doing research on the Order of Nine Angles, ONA, is what they're also known as. I have to commend this girl that she's even talking about these people, because from everything I've read and heard about them, and I've stumbled upon ONA in my own research into the Western cult, I think that they probably have some connection. The same way the Western cult has connection with the Freemasons and OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis. They are probably also connected in with ONA, as in they're probably members of the cult that I am researching, that I dubbed the Western cult. They are probably members of that cult that also have membership in Freemasonry, in OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, in ONA, or Order of Nine Angles. So, because a lot of the symbols and the belief systems, the beliefs and the philosophies behind the symbols are the same across the board, from one to the other. So that's why I think there are definitely people that are bringing the same ideas and the same symbols to represent those ideas into all of these secret societies and little cults. All right? So what she says here caught my attention, and I felt like I should comment on it. Where she wasn't sure if it was a misprint, if it should have been the Order of Nine Angels or the Order of Nine Angles. No, it's not a misprint. It should be the Order of Nine Angles. And to my thinking, I'm not sure when this happened, sometime a long time ago, but I personally believe, based on what I know now of light and existence and the soul and the nature of the physical world versus the soul, the spirit world, I do believe that it was always meant to be angles, that angels was a misprint of angles. At some point, somewhere a long time ago, it was always meant to be angles, and angels was maybe the old way of spelling angles. I don't know. Let me give you some evidence to support this. All right. And I have to commend this girl again. Like, the fact that she's even talking about these people. You guys should definitely try to learn about ONA, Order of Nine Angles. They are, if for no other reason, they're a very dangerous cult. From everything I've read and researched about them, and everything I've read about, the writings of the members in this cult, they seem pretty hardcore. They seem to be sort of a mixture of Satanism, Nazi worship, very much about self-sufficiency, and they seem to do extreme, crazy things to satisfy their purposes. But, yeah, and really quickly before I get out of YouTube, I will show you guys, I have a playlist here on my channel. Go ahead and look at my playlists. This one should be made public. It's called Light Does Not Move, where you can see here I'm providing a few videos to offer up evidence of the fact that light true light does not move. And I've been speaking about this recently. I've been speaking about it for the last couple of years now in videos off and on. I just released a new video yesterday called The Western Cult, Heaven is Not What You Think It Is, where I start talking about it again, and I start explaining how true light is like the oversoul, oversoul that all of our individual souls come from, is represented as a sea of light. And this sea does not move. It is still, because it is all things. It's everything. This is the light that started off everything, and this is in all religions. Pretty much every religion believes that everything began with light. So you are within the light. I am within the light. The light is in us, and we are in the light. That your house is in the light. The earth is in the light. The sun is in the light. Our entire solar system, our galaxy, everything is within this sea of light. Everything. And the only thing is that we can only perceive fractions of that light. So nobody has ever seen true light. You can see here, the third video down is my video where I start talking a bit about how light does not move. I would suggest you definitely go and watch the second video down. This one, Theoria Apophasis. I will try to remember to provide a link for this guy's video in the description. He's very intelligent, and I think he does a very, very good job of explaining how light does not actually move. It does not move. It doesn't travel. There's no such thing as light travel or faster than the speed of light. It doesn't move. True light doesn't move, and we've never seen true absolute light. All we see are fractions of light. So I will attempt now to explain that better to you. But go ahead and have a look at this playlist on my YouTube channel. It's called Light Does Not Move, and I have a few videos on here. Definitely check out the second one down. He uses some big words, but, break out a dictionary, guys, because it's worth it to decode what he's saying and get a better idea of how light actually works. Most people, and again, even physicists and scientists, don't actually understand how light works. So when it comes to angles and angels, I will also reference here, oh my goodness, if this thing would work. There we go. I will also reference here Walter Russell. He was also an artist, and he wrote this book called The Secret of Light, wherein he wrote, light does not travel. It doesn't. So the way we see light is everything, all the material world around you is refracting light as if so let me show you this, as if it's a crystal. So we are all in this sea of light. We're all within it. We just can't perceive it because our physical bodies make it so that we can't perceive true light. We just see fractions of it. So look at it this way. Look at it as if everything around you, everything that you perceive as being physical material is almost like a crystal. And it's like a moving crystal. It's sort of vibrating. And that vibration, that's not the light moving. The light is still. But the vibration of this crystal, this bit of material, reveals a certain amount of the light. So you can see here, for example, you see the white light. Everything is white light. We're in a sea of white light. But when it doesn't go through the crystal, the crystal is within that white light as well. You have to see it that way. All right? And that crystal is revealing to you. So look around you. Look at anything. Look at, here, let me show you something. Something that's just, I don't know, right around me. Let's see, what do we got here? We got a kitten. Hi, kitten. Maybe it's better to use this thing. It's a kitten toy. See this thing right here? This thing is sitting in a sea of light right next to me. I'm in the sea of light. You're in the sea of light. We're all in this sea of light. We can't perceive it with our flesh eyes. But what we perceive here, see it looks teal, looks light blue. That's because this thing is like a crystal. And it's only it's refracting that light. It's showing us pieces of that light. It's showing us pieces of the sea of light that we're sitting in right now. All right? We're sitting in a sea of light, and because I see this bit, it looks blue. It's just because it's refracting to me a small portion of the sea of light that it's, I'm moving it around in. The light is not traveling to me. It just doesn't move. It doesn't travel. There's no such thing as traveling light. There's traveling material. There's traveling crystal material. Look at this is like a crystal. Hey, Pudge. Even him. He's like a moving, traveling crystal. He's moving, traveling physical material. And that physical material, I love you, but he's more than that, obviously. He has the light of life in him. He has sort of a soul, right? Spirit of life, as do I, as do you. So we have light within, and we are within the light. Hey, Pudge. I love you, Pudge. So the reason he looks white down here is because he is reflecting out to me almost total white light. He's not reflecting the whole spectrum of light, because there's ultraviolet light and infrared light. There are certain aspects of light that we can't see with our human eyes. Oh, you playing with your toy? There are certain aspects of light that we can't perceive with our human eyes. But what we can perceive at least white light. When we see all of the light colors combined, let me see if I can do this. Bring the crystals back up. So he's just a big moving crystal. He's a big moving, walking, meowing crystal. Is my Pudge right there. Look at it that way, yeah. Or he's made up of many small crystals, if you want to see it that way. Every atom, perhaps it's better to look at it that way. Every atom that makes up his body is a little crystal. And each of those little crystals are moving and vibrating within this sea of light. And in doing so, they are displaying to us different colors, different portions, fractions of the all white light that's around us all the time. So does that make sense to you guys? So it should be angles like the angles of a crystal. Okay. Not angels. It should be angles. So again, this sea of white light, this still white light that we all exist in, that is the highest power. That's what it all started with. It doesn't move. It doesn't have to move. It can't move, really, because it's all things. Where is it going to go? It can't go anywhere. It is everywhere and everything at all times. Remember, all of the galaxies, all of the universe exists within it. All right? Even the vacuum, it's not really a vacuum void out in space. There are still things there's gases out in space and such. It's not a total vacuum or void out there. But even so, the sea of light is out there too. It's everywhere. All things are within it. It can't move because it's all things. It's everywhere. Have I said that enough so you guys understand? When you see what looks like light moving, it's particles that are showing us the light. The particles are moving. All right? So I don't think it was ever supposed to be angels. I think it was always supposed to be angles. Now, this sea of light is also often represented. Here's a symbol that often represents this sea of light. It's the Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its own tail. And remember how I brought up Freemason tombstones? Hourglass. So if a lot of different tombstones for Freemasons have a picture something like this. It's an Ouroboros, snake eating its own tail. That's the light, that everything is within. It encompasses all things. All right? So that's essentially, that's what this symbol is relaying to some degree. This symbol it has a lot of layered meanings to it, but this is one of them. It's telling you about the light, and that's the Ouroboros. this sea of light, this still sea of light that does not move, that we all exist within, and all of life is within it. And anytime you think you see light, what you're seeing is a fraction of true pure light. No one has ever seen, not in their human form with their human eyes, nobody has ever seen true light. We're not capable of it. We see fractions of light. I'll show you again. Fractions of light. Look, it looks quite white there, but it's not true. It's not pure 100% light. Looks quite white, but it's still off-white. These are all fractions of light. Red, it's a piece of the light. Blue, it's a piece of the light. Everything you see around you is within the sea of light, but it's also you're only seeing a fraction of the sea of light. You're only seeing what these materials, the bit of light that these materials are showing you. If that makes sense. Oh, Perseus, my other cat wants to come in. Give me a minute, buddy. Yeah, so that's mostly what I wanted to get across, is I do think that angels was always meant to be angles. And if you think about the first God, the first deity being this sea of light that is all things, and it had to, in order to experience itself, because it was all alone, it was just sitting alone still. In order to not be alone anymore, it had to split itself up. It had to split itself up with crystals. See? It had to split itself up into different colors, and that's really you and all things. Everything is just light. Everything around you is light. But I guess vibrating at different frequencies. So, and because the light that makes up your physical body is vibrating at a certain frequency that is similar to that of, let's say, the wall standing next to you. That's why it feels solid to your hand when you hit it. Okay? But it's still all just light. Your hand is light. The wall that you're hitting is light. While I'm hitting the wall, when I just show it. See? And shadows, they're the absence of light. That's not a thing. There's no such thing as a shadow. It's just, there's no light there. But this wall is light. My hand is light. The reason why I'm perceiving this wall as being solid and my hand won't go through it is because the light that's making up this wall is vibrating at a frequency similar to the light that's making up my hand. So they can't pass through each other. All right? As far as I've understood it, and again, I think I have a better understanding of it than quite a few, even some physicists out there. And again, please go back and watch that video of I forget his name, but I'll post a link in the description. Everything is just crystals. You're a crystal, or you're a big sea of crystals. You're a big glob of crystals that are refracting the white light, sea of white light that you are within, and showing the different colors, different pieces of that light. And I think it's interesting also, just circling back to Ona really quickly. In my research into Ona, Order of Nine Angles, a lot of the imagery associated with this cult are people with black eyes. So black, I mean, it's tricky because black suggests the absence of light, but then again, also it suggests that it's not, when you see something that's black, it means it absorbs light. It absorbs all of its light. It's not sending any light outward. So yeah, it might suggest like a black hole. If a person has no light within them that's shining out from them. They're just absorbing. That's what I think the suggestion is. If you ever meet somebody with totally black eyes. And I think it's also interesting. Oh, here, I'll show you this as well. So I have a blog post discussing this. I posted it on September 11th, 2022. The Mother Goddess of Light. Here we go. Mother Goddess of Light, the Black Mirror's Reflection, and the Fall from Grace. So this is where I start getting into here, explaining how light works, color work, and I reference Walter Russell down all the way down at the bottom somewhere. Please go check this one out. It's a lot of ideas in here. It's not all necessarily all about light, and again, none of these posts are totally finished. And I'm not sure if I have it posted or if it's still a draft, but there's definitely, here we go. The 9, Father Darkness, Chaos, the 9. This might be where I start discussing it. A dream I had with Dave Chappelle, of all people. And remember that I mentioned in a previous video where I was talking about Cat Williams that Dave Chappelle was one of my top all-time favorite comedians, and now I'm scared of him. I had a nightmare of Dave Chappelle staring at me with black eyes, totally black eyes. It reminded me very much of the images I see associated with Ona, Order of Nine Angles. And yeah, I think that, the kind of blackness where no light has ever existed. That's the part of this post where I start talking about my dream about Dave Chappelle. And I get into chaos and Order of Nine Angles here. Here we go. So yeah, if you'd like, feel free to come check out this blog post on my blog, celebrityrangelist.wordpress.com. Father Darkness, Chaos, the 4, the 9, and the Event Horizon. And yeah, so it's I don't think it was ever supposed to be angels. I think it was always supposed to be angles. We live in a sea of light. We exist in a sea of light. If the sea of light is the first deity, then the angles that broke up that sea of light would be like the angels, the lesser deities, right? Or the lesser gods, the lesser angels, what have you. Maybe the jinn or the demons, perhaps the bad angles, because they say that, perhaps the angles that reflect light poorly, I don't know, perhaps those are the demons and the jinn, and then the good angles that reflect light positively are the angels. I don't know how you would want to look at it, but it's not angels, it's angles. Everywhere you look around you, it's the angles of each object that are, in a way, possibly determining, or the angles of the material making up that object that determine the colors you're going to see coming out of it, the bits of the white light that's being shown to you. All right, I have to find better ways of explaining this, perhaps. Again, go watch this guy. He sounds way more official than I do. He's a lot smarter than I am, I think. Yeah, this guy right here, he's a lot smarter than me.
Pets. They like to go get it.
He sounds a lot more intelligent when he's explaining it. And yeah, I'll have to remember to post. Here, we'll do it right now. Copy link. All right, and then I will put it in the description. So, yeah, just wanted to make you guys aware of that. It's angles, not angels. It's always been angles, not angels. Good night.